Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today we have another top 5 guns video for you, except today's episode is going to be centered around ammunition. Primarily, what types of ammunition should you attempt to keep in stock all the time just to be well prepared? Now, this video may raise some questions within some of you about your ammo stash and what you keep in stock and things like that. But I also want today's video to sort of be about investing in ammo as well. Even if you're a person who is not really into guns that much, let's say you have some spare capital laying around, ammo is actually a very good investment to just purchase and hold on to. It's good to hold. Not only is it a valuable asset to have on hand just in case things go south, but it actually is a pretty worthwhile investment. I'll explain a little bit as the video goes on, but I'm going to give you my top 5 calibers that I would recommend you keep in stock, and also give you some suggestions for the types of ammo that I keep laying around and my reasoning for such. And also, we'll dive into some other areas as well. So this will be a fun video. Before we get started, I would like to thank our friends at My Patriot Supply for supporting today's video. This summer isn't just hot, y'all. It's historic. Flash flood warnings are at a 40-year high, and it's not slowing down. Towns are underwater, roads are washed out, and in every crisis zone, the same scene. Crowds standing in line and waiting for bottles of water, waiting for food, waiting for somebody to show up and save them. But let me tell you, they say the help is on the way, but what if it's not? What if help takes days or doesn't come at all? Do you think that this system is built to actually protect you? They can barely handle one emergency, let alone dozens. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be the one with my pants caught down. And that's right. My Patriot Supply is actually giving away 4 weeks of emergency food. Just go to mypatriotsupply.com/LLP to find out how to claim your free 4-week food supply and join millions of Americans who are preparing with My Patriot Supply. Claim your free 4-week kit today at mypatriotsupply.com/LLP. That's Lima Papa. That's mypatriotsupply.com/LLP. Lima Papa. Perfect. Get your food on that way. And now we can talk about some ammo. So getting into today's video, the first caliber on the list, and again, as every top 5 goes, these are in no particular order. I'm just going to sort of go down the list and we'll cover all of them, and there's a wild card. Let's get cracking. 12 gauge. Okay, so we'll just start. We've got it right here. 12 gauge is a indispensably important type of thing to have laying around. I think that everybody should have a good shotgun caliber laying around. 12 gauge is common. There are a ton of firearms out there chambered in 12 gauge, so it's a very useful type of thing to have laying around. I think the 12 gauge, the price to performance, let's just say paradigm there, is very good. And what I mean by that is, like for instance, this is a Brunichi anti-terror slug. I keep quite a few of these laying around. Now, I'm going to make some ammo recommendations in this particular video today, but I don't want you to think that these are the only ones I have laying around. I just decided to show off a couple of loads just to give you an idea of my thinking, my thought process here. These are the anti-terror slugs. So slugs deliver a lot of payload and energy and power on target for not a lot of money. If you look at something like a stalking rifle or a big game hunting rifle that's chambered in something, let's say like 505 Gibbs or something like a 577 Nitro Express double or a 9.3 by 62, fine rifle or something like that. I mean, those are great for killing large animals, but shotgun slugs actually do really well at delivering a huge punch on large animals at close range. And of course, the tactical considerations of slugs is that it's a huge payload anywhere you want to put it. It'll shoot through walls, it'll shoot through, automotive glass, through structures, through two-legged game, if that's your thing. So shotgun slugs, I think, are very, very underrated, and a lot of people tend to underrate shotguns as a useful tactical tool. You don't have to own a big bore hunting rifle. If you have a good shotgun with a slug in it, you can take large game. And when you're done hunting with your shotgun, you can put buckshot in there. Now, I'd recommend boxes of buckshot. You can generally buy them in like a 25 round box. This is a great investment. Shotgun buckshot ammo is a great thing to have laying around. Now, this is Fiocchi Defensive Dynamics. This is a 1250 foot per second 9 pellet load. Great load that'll run all sorts of different semi-autos, as well as it'll run in all your pumps, your single shots, etc., etc. So shotgun ammo as being number one, I think is a pretty important thing. Obviously, temper your expectations based on, if you own a 410 and that's the only shotgun you're ever going to own, well, then don't buy a whole room full of 12 gauge. But I think 12 gauge is a very important gun to have laying around. Even if you're only going to own just a police trade-in Remington 870 or something, or a police trade-in Mossberg 500, 590, something like that, buy a $300 police trade-in shotgun, get yourself a bunch of 12 gauge, and even if you don't shoot it a lot, you need to have it on hand because it's a very useful tool. Trust me when I say it's a very useful tool. Number 2 on the list is 22 long rifle. Now, this should come at no surprise. Why would 22 long rifle be such a great caliber to stock? Well, for one, it doesn't take up a lot of room to store, and you get a lot of rounds for the amount of space it takes up. 2, the price is generally pretty affordable. It is a very affordable type of ammo to stock a lot of and keep a lot on hand. 22 is very indispensable for training purposes. You can get a lot of reduced cost training instead of burning up all your centerfire ammo, which we're going to get to that in a moment. You can certainly get a lot of shots for the same amount of money that you'd have to spend to get less shots for a more expensive type of ammo. So the training benefits are there. It's great for small game hunting. There are even some projectiles and let's just say ammo designs that are actually intended for personal defense use. Here we have some Federal Punch ammunition. This is their personal defense load. I stock a lot of this ammo. I keep a lot of this in stock, and I also keep a lot of the CCI Stinger because these can really give you a lot of power out of a 22, especially if you're shooting one with a 16-inch barrel. These bad boys out of a 16-inch barrel can do some pretty good killing if that's what you need to do for hunting purposes. We're talking small game, rabbits and squirrels and things like that. But a 22 can also take down even larger game with proper shot placement. So 22s, they just have a very utilitarian and very useful reason for having them around. Not only for the training purpose, but just for the cost to shot ratio is very good. It's easy to store. Generally, it's stored in, like especially these CCIs that are in these kind of hard boxes. They're very good for long-term storage, especially if you put them in a can and put yourself a silica gel pack in there. They do really well, okay? Also, Lapua Center X. Now, this ammunition is pretty expensive, but if you have a nice match grade 22, you can find no better food for the money for that than Center X. So I always keep a lot of Center X laying around for when I need to do some really accurate shooting. I keep a lot of the Federal, the bulk packs of Auto Match. I keep a lot of that around to run in machine guns and full autos and suppressed pistols and things like that. And then, of course, the Stinger and the Federal Punch. Those are pretty much my 4 favorite 22 long rifle loads. And sometimes you can find the Auto Match on sale for a really good price, and you can buy it cheap and stack it deep. And it's a good investment because the prices on ammo only are going up, okay? So 22 comes in at number 2. Coming in at number 3, I don't think this is going to be a surprise for some of you, 9mm, okay? Now, there are a lot of different pistol calibers out there, and many of you probably have your favorites, I know there's going to be the 45 ACP guys out there. There's going to be the 40 Smith & Wesson guys out there. There's going to be the people that are into the 5.7x28 or the 30 Super Carry or whatever new widget is out right now. I always go back to 9mm because it's available, it's common. There are a lot of guns chambered in 9mm. A lot of historic guns are chambered in 9mm. A lot of things that you're going to find laying around in some sort of crummy situation. Let's say, I don't know, end of the world environment, whatever you want to say. There's always going to be something laying around chambered in 9mm, be it a PCC, be it a sidearm, a pistol. Chances are it's going to be a 9, okay? 9s are very, very common. And the cost ratio to training for 9 is very good. The ball ammo in 9 is very affordable to shoot. Right now, prices are pretty good overall. It's not, back to pre-2020 prices or anything like that, but you can generally buy a good 9mm ball now for about $13 to $15 a box, which definitely puts it into a good price range for investment. Now, I do like this 124 grain Aguila. I shoot quite a bit of this, and sometimes it just comes down to what's available, but I try to buy good quality brass case. ball ammo when I do want to stock ball. A lot of that ammo that, I'm trying to think the Serbian ammo that was out there. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's that 124 grain military Serbian ball that's out there. I think it's Global Ordnance sells it, if I'm not mistaken. That stuff is good. I like it because it's full power 124 ball. It runs PCCs well. It runs all sorts of pistols just fine, and it's very accurate and clean shooting. And I've never had a problem out of thousands of rounds of that ammunition, okay? So that's a good option to stock. Now for carry ammo, I'd also recommend stocking carry ammo as well, at least as much as you can afford. I know it's expensive. I recommend the 50-round law enforcement boxes. It's a much better value, and if you shop around, you can actually find it pretty reasonable. It'll be about double the cost of ball ammunition, roughly. If you're lucky, you can usually find a 50-round box of HST or Critical Defense or something like that, or Critical Duty for maybe $35 a box for 50, which is pricey, but to have carry ammo on hand is a very good idea. I think a very important thing to have laying around. I like the Hornady Critical Duty. This particular load is the 124 grain flex lock in the Plus P. That's my jam. This one's very barrier blind. It does great in automotive glass. It does excellent shooting through clothing, blue jean material. We've tested in wool coats. It does exceptionally well. I would say a strong runner-up would be the HST. I do love the Federal HST quite a bit. Spear Gold Dot is good. The Lehigh Defense offerings are fantastic. Okay, so there are a lot of carry rounds out there that are good. Each of them is going to have kind of their strengths and weaknesses, but I always pick the Critical Duty as my go-to. I actually think the HST is more accurate, but the Critical Duty is a better bullet for a wider variety of different things. I would say the temporal and permanent cavitation on both the bullets when not going through any sort of a barrier are pretty similar. So that's why I lean towards the Critical Duty, because it does better in barriers than HST and Gold Dot. And I've tested it. The tests are on the channel. You can check it out if you want. 9mm comes in at number 3, and you can see why. 9mm is a very important thing. All right, what about our rifles? Now, I know there's going to be some AK aficionados out there that are going to turn their nose up at my suggestions. That's fine. Look, if you're an AK guy or whatever, and you love 7.62 by 39 or 5.45 by 39, then stock what you use, obviously. But for the normies out there who have a Palmetto State Armory AR laying around, okay, look, 5.56 is the jam. And there are a lot of firearms out there chambered in 5.56. Again, I logically go to what's common. Now, AKs are becoming more common. Yes, there's a ton of 7.62 by 39 firearms out there. It would behoove you to, even if you didn't own a 7.62 by 39 firearm, if you can spare the money, it's probably not a bad idea to have a couple of cases of M67 ball laying around, okay? Not a bad idea. But for the number 4 slot, I'm going to say my favorite 5.56 load to buy cheap and stack deep as often as I can when it becomes available is the Lithuanian unpainted SS109 green tip. It's not a green tip. It is a green tip bullet, but it's an unpainted green tip. It's the Lithuanian Triple G SS109 in this brown box right here. This is my jam. It's accurate. Very, very accurate. Shoots great out of my 18 and 20 inch SPRs. It shoots great out of the shorties. It shoots great out of my Mark 18. Gives plenty of power. It's a proper power range to run a wide variety of different guns. It runs belt feds perfectly. It's very accurate. Out of a good SPR, this stuff can almost keep up with a 69 grain match load. I mean, obviously, it's not going to keep up with a 75 or 69 grain match, good quality match load out at distance. But 100-yard groups and just close-in shooting, or maybe shooting pigs. Like, I shoot a lot of hogs with 5.56, believe it or not. And I don't waste 30 cal on hogs because 5.56 kills them just as dead. And I've shot a lot of pigs with the 62 grain SS109 Lithuanian. I've killed dozens of hogs, if not hundreds, using this load. And it works great. Out to a couple of 100 yards. Plenty of power, good penetration with good shot placement. I like it. People can turn their nose up at 5.56 all they want, but out of a 20-inch barrel, it's pretty good, okay? It's still got some good gas. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are buying into that old 277 whatever 277 Fury or all that, the new gas and all the new cartridges and semi-auto 6.5 Creedmoors and semi-auto 6mm Creedmoors and all these sorts of things people are doing, that's fine. But I always kind of stick to the basics for stocking a lot of ammo. Remember, this is about investing in ammo that is going to be useful. I'm not saying that 6.5 Creedmoor is not a good round to keep laying around. We're going to get to that in a moment. But for my purposes, for rifles, semi-auto rifles that I keep the most of in hand, 5.56 to me is like currency. You have, the more of this you have, the better. And I buy this in a 1,000 round case, and it comes in a 50 cal ammo can, sealed up with the little, sort of zinc tab that's on there. And I remember this stuff being about $400 a can, and I think at one point I might have bought about 15, 16 cans of it. It's a good investment, okay? This ammo is fantastic. If you can ever find it anywhere, buy it. It's good. All right, I guess I need to go buy a bunch before y'all buy it all now because I had to make this video. I get in trouble there. All right, number 5 on the list, 308. Now, some good M80 ball is a great thing to have laying around. There are a lot of different options out there for M80 ball. This is some Austrian ammo that I bought through, I think, PSA. It is mildly corrosive, even though they say it's not corrosive, it is. M80 ball can come in a lot of different flavors. I prefer the military surplus M80 ball over the M80 ball that's suspect by like if you buy American Eagle Federal or something. I'm not generally a big fan of buying the more commercial versions of military cartridges. I tend to want to buy military surplus or overrun types of arrangements when it comes to cartridges, like the Lithuanian M80 or the Lithuanian M855. Yes, it's expensive and it's a little hard to find, but it's good. It's good quality. And that's how I treat a lot of the M80 ball. In fact, Triple G, there's Lithuanian contract M80 ball that you can get as well, and it comes in these I think like 120 round blister packs. That is my recommendation. If you can find the Triple G, it's great. Okay, I like it, but I would say number 5 on the list is M80 ball. Keep your SCAR fed if you're running a SCAR or you're running some sort of a semi-auto 308, or maybe you have some sort of a 308 hunting rifle. You can obviously stock some expanding bullets for your hunting rifle if you're wanting to do a little bit longer range shooting on game or something. But I think 308 is a really important thing to have laying around in terms of a caliber. Okay, I'm going to set this can out of the way for a minute. I do like a lot of the different 308 hunting loads, but I will say in light of this video that while I do like to keep a lot of M80 ball laying around just so, to kind of solidify my ability to, run my SCAR if I need to, I really do like the SCAR heavy. So I do keep a lot of M80 around, and that gun shoots ball exceptionally well. Obviously, you can stock some 175 grain match ammo. I like the Federal Gold Medal match in the 175 and the 168. My SCAR shoots the 175 better than the 168, but your mileage may vary. Feel free to pick a grain and go out there and shoot some and see what your gun likes the best. A lot of guns do like the 175. And of course, whatever type of expanding ammo that you want to run in your hunting rifles and things like that. But in light of this top 5, I will say, that, there are cartridges that I prefer to hunt with more than the stuff that I listed here. Yes, I shoot hogs with 5.56, but I generally don't hunt deer with 308. I mean, I do have, if you wanted to consider a wild card, yeah, look, if you've got your favorite hunting rifle and it's chambered in 35 Remington, or it's chambered in 30-06, or it's chambered in something like that, by all means, pick you up a few cases of ammo for your favorite hunting rifle and be done with it. It's not like you're going to be shooting that cartridge a lot. I'm not saying don't feed the favorite tools you have. I obviously have many more guns and many more cartridges than what I listed here. Remember, we're talking about this more from a standpoint of investing in ammo for the future. If that future is uncertain, if the availability of ammo for common guns is uncertain, these are the calibers that you want to have in hand. Now, there's always a wild card, and we're going to get to that, but I have one more case here I want to show you. This is kind of going back to the 12 gauge from the beginning. So I picked up some of this military overrun 12 gauge slugs. So it's crazy. Look how it's packaged. All right, it's in this white box here, and then look, they come in these Mylar. Now look at that. Mylar packaged 12 gauge slugs. Now what load is this? This is, and this was packaged for the military. Remington 12 gauge. These are S-Mag. Let's see, 1050. These are sluggers, okay? Remington sluggers. So pretty basic slugs, but they were packaged for the military for some sort of a contract, and it's a contract overrun. But look how it's packaged, right? You've got the ammo can. It's in Mylar. So for long-term storage, I mean, if you are going to buy shotgun ammo for long-term storage, check some of your warehouses, and when they're blowing this sort of stuff out, pick it up, because it's a really good thing to have on the shelf. Now, I have other slugs that I shoot on a regular basis, but you better believe for long-term storage, this is going to store way better than just buying some slugs and putting them in an ammo can. Now, I'm not going to say that that's not a good choice, because it is, but that Mylar is a nice touch, and they were relatively cheap. I think they were 80 cents a piece, which I think I've definitely got good on my investment at that point, because they're certainly worth more than 80 cents a piece. So again, think about it like an investor. Okay, so wild card, last one, number 6, there's always a wild card. Certified casting alloys, okay? This is a bar of linotype, okay? But you can get, certified casting alloys in a wide variety of different hardnesses. I keep linotype, I keep hardball on hand, I keep pure lead on hand, and I keep bars of pure tin on hand as well, okay? Then you can get you some molds, all right? This is a Lee Precision 6-cavity gang mold in 9mm. This one's a 120. It's a truncated cone bullet. So you can get yourself some bullet molds and some casting alloy, and you can roll your own projectiles. So maybe some of you will get into, reloading your own ammunition. I just did an entire presentation on whether or not I think it's worth reloading your own ammunition. You might want to check that out if that's something you're interested in. But don't shy away from components. All right, if you're at a store and somebody's blowing out a bunch of primers or something, and they're a good deal, and they're well below what they're typically going for, all around on the internet, buy them if you can afford them. It's as good as currency. Powder, primer, certified casting alloys, casting materials, reloading components. Now, reloading components is probably not something I would consider a super good investment, especially if you're going to buy presses and equipment, because you have to actually use it to realize the value of the investment. However, I'm just trying to put the thought in your mind as a wild card that you can also get into making some of your own ammo too, if you're trying to load up a lot of ammo to stack cheaper and stack it deep and have it at your disposal. So hopefully this video pointed some of you in the right direction. I wanted to, make this and kind of talk about my favorite calibers to stock and keep laying around, and my methodology, kind of thinking behind it. And I had some 50s here on the table just for show. I do have a Barrett M107, and obviously I keep it in all the food that I possibly can. This is a 750 grain Hornady AMAX. This is a Ralphus. So I keep a good bit of food laying around for the 50. So obviously, if you have your favorite gun and it's not on this list, I'm not saying don't buy your favorite caliber. Run what you brung. This is more of an exercise in what's useful for the long term and to sort of temper the uncertainty of the future. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have a lot of content on the way, y'all. I've been taking a little bit of a sabbatical. I've been working on the house like crazy, been kind of restructuring some things in my life, so it's been a little hectic, but I promise I've got a bunch of range videos on the way and a bunch of stuff that you're absolutely going to love, I promise. Thank you so much for tuning in. Many more videos on the way. We'll see y'all soon.